And before we get to our top story here on 5 Live, let me give you the facts, the figures on the COVID-19 fight overall. You've just heard the Health Ministry, remember, give us some very good news. 80% of COVID-19 cases are currently recovering. That's the total number that we have right now. 13,387 cases and 437 deaths so far. A quick recap of the states that are affected the most at this time. Maharashtra has a total of 3,205 cases. 194 people have died in that state. It still tops on both those indexes. Delhi has a total of 1,640 cases with 38 deaths so far. Tamil Nadu is in the number 3 position with 1,267 cases with 15 deaths so far. So these are the 3 top states as we speak, and this is data updated until 4:30 p.m. today. So it's the very latest authenticated information. Now let's go straight to our top story. I've been waiting to bring you this story because this is something that has angered people across party lines and across the country. With India under lockdown, the government has set very specific and strict rules and guidelines. But this story from Bengaluru shows these rules and guidelines only apply to you and me and not to the rich and powerful, and certainly not to state politicians. They're not the same for everyone. Karnataka's ex-Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy got VVIP permissions to conduct the marriage ceremony of his son Nikhil to a person called Revathi in Bengaluru. They tried to propagate in the media that they had drastically cut down on celebrations and were being very responsible. But take a look at this report and see just what a shameful nataka of the lockdown rules they've actually made possible.
Amid the nationwide lockdown, a wedding ceremony complete with all finery being held near Bengaluru. But this is no ordinary wedding. This is the VVIP wedding of former Karnataka Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy's son Nikhil with Revathi, the grandniece of former State Congress Minister M. Krishnappa. Dressed in white, Nikhil and Revathi tied the knot between 9:20 and 9:50 a.m. as the Muhurat was set for this period. The venue was the Kumaraswamy family farmhouse in Ramanagara. And even though the former Karnataka Chief Minister had declared that it was going to be a low-key wedding because of the coronavirus pandemic, it seems this wedding was anything but that. There were violations galore at this VVIP wedding. None of the guests wore masks. Kumaraswamy claimed that he had planned to invite close to 5 lakh people. Thankfully, he cancelled the big bash, but there were still close to 100 people in attendance. This video of the groom Nikhil Kumaraswamy seated in a chair with guests and camera persons crowding around shows that social distancing norms were also not being followed. Another video, however, shows some guests sitting with chairs apart.
Particularly, this issue was in limelight. Even after a lot of warning and intimation, if any kind of violation has happened, we need to find out, and suitable action will be taken against the concerned people.
The high-profile political wedding also saw at least 21 cars carrying guests to the wedding venue. When movement on roads is blocked due to the lockdown, why was special permission given for these VIP guests?
40 to 50 relatives of their family had attended the wedding. In India, it is customary to bless the couple. In India, we bless the couple. Let us not criticize. And if at all media and people from opposition want to do politics, let us do politics some other time. And today is the time to bless and fight COVID.
India has been under lockdown for 24 days now. Citizens have been asked to strictly follow all safety precautions. But do the same rules not apply to India's VIPs? With Nagarjun Dwarkanath and Nolan Pinto, Bureau Report, India Today.
So while this VIP Kumaraswamy family shamelessly acquires the permission to conduct this ceremony and wants people of Karnataka to think, oh, we are very simple people, this is not a big wedding, we have only taken 60 to 70 people, 30 people from both sides, please don't judge us, we have not done anything wrong. Take a look at the pictures, ladies and gentlemen. Are we stupid? Are we idiots? Or are these the COVIDiots of this country who believe that the real rules only apply to people like us and don't apply to people like them? Look at these examples of people across the country, ladies and gentlemen, of families who have put off their wedding ceremonies. Let's put that window back on our screens right now. Have put off their Indian weddings simply because they have no choice but to follow the rules that have been imposed by the government. These are good Indians who have postponed their wedding ceremonies, conducted their Sangeet ceremonies on Zoom or Skype, who are conducting their marriage rituals over the phone line, over having small ceremonies where nobody is present, like you can see there in Bengal, where only the bride and groom are present. Both of them are wearing face masks and nothing else is happening. These are the true Indians who are following all the rules, who are following all the laws and having the decency and respect not to cut corners and not to endanger this country. On the other hand, you have people like the Kumaraswamis who without shame have tried to paint themselves as responsible and yet conducted a VVIP ceremony. And that brings me to the big questions I'm asking today on 5 Live. I don't care if nobody else wants to ask these questions, but a former Chief Minister of Karnataka has acquired permission through the Karnataka government, which itself has not covered itself in any glory when it comes to lockdown violations, and made this VIP wedding possible, which is an insult to the people of Karnataka and the insult to the people of India. Question number 1 I'm asking today on 5 Live. Why no masks or social distancing at Nikhil Revathi wedding? In some pictures you can see people sitting in chairs apart, but what about these pictures? Look at how people are crowding around each other there. Question number 2, why was permission given? Who are these people to get permission for multiple guests to break the lockdown orders, come in separate cars and come for this wedding ceremony? Who are these people? Question number 3, the state government itself is guilty of violations, and therefore is it helping other VIPs because they don't want anybody to ask questions to them? We are going to ask you questions. Just wait and watch. Question number 4. Has Chief Minister Yediyurappa insulted his voters, insulted the people of Karnataka's public by allowing this mockery of the public, this wedding, this VVIP wedding? By allowing it, has Yediyurappa basically shown the finger to Karnataka's public? Question number 5. Is this VIP ceremony an insult to all people who are respecting the law, couples who've postponed their marriage celebrations? Is this an insult to every single one of those people? I want to go across to India today's Nagarjun Dwarkanath, who joins me live. Nagarjun, I know that the Kumaraswamis wanted everyone to believe that they have been, extremely responsible, that they have been extremely, good and decent by not holding a massive wedding. But the images that have come out from this wedding suggest that all manner of permissions have been showered on this family so they can hold this wedding.
That is true, Shiv. In fact, what was even more shocking was the nexus between the government and the host. The police had a list of series of cars with registration numbers with them, and only those cars would be allowed to cross from Bangalore to Ramanagara. How did this car list go to the police department? And police, why were they escorting the smooth transfer of the guests to the wedding?
Stay with me for a second. Stay with me for a second. I have Malavika Avinash of the BJP with me. Malavika, why has permission been given for this wedding? Thousands of people are suffering. Thousands of people are postponing their weddings. The Kumaraswamy family has made it seem like, we are being very simple. We are not calling people. There are so many people at this wedding. There is no social distancing. Nobody is wearing a mask. Why did the BJP government give these people permission for this? Malavika? Okay, Malavika can't hear me, I think. So I'll try and get her back on the line because we're going to ask questions. We don't care who this is. We're going to ask the questions here on 5 Live. Nagarjun, you were telling us about the permissions that have been showered on the Kumaraswamis.
So this wouldn't have happened without the nexus of the permission with the government, that the Ramanagara district SP had a clear list of numbers of cars which were entering from Bangalore. There was someone from the Kumaraswamy team at the checkpost telling the police, you allow this car, you allow this car. These cars didn't even have curfew passes and they were doing intra-district travel. And look at us, the media also were stopped. Bank employees were stopped. The police had given clear-cut instructions that till 10 o'clock, till the Muhurat is over, no one should be allowed. The highway was empty, even though the food trucks and milk trucks were waiting in queue to cross the checkpost, but luxury high-end cars without any curfew passes were allowed to enter. The big question is, why did the government allow this to happen? Why did the media was stopped entering Ramanagara district? Because they knew that if media would go, they would clearly show the violations that took place. And look at the pictures that we are speaking about. These are grand celebrations that is happening. The lightings, the flower decoration, the chair arrangements. This is not any simple wedding that we are speaking about.
And Nagarjun, has the government said anything about, when these pictures came out, I can count the number of violations on my hands. Is the government planning to investigate any possible violations?
The government at this point of time has only said that they would seek a report from the DCA and SP, clearly an eyewash comment coming from the government. If they were serious enough, why did the police have the list of cars that were entering the Ramanagara district without their permission? It was without the government permission. This wouldn't have happened because no one would brazenly do it out in the open without government permission. It was an eyewash comment is what I feel that Deputy Chief Minister came out and said that they would seek a report, and if the report mentions any violations, they would take action against it, clearly just brushing it aside.
Okay, I just want to show you these two images that we have also. On the left-hand side, in just a moment, I'm going to have this two window of images on your screen to show you the contrast between what is happening with the Kumaraswamis and the action that has been taken in another case in Karnataka. Let's put those pictures on our screen so I can describe them for our viewers. On the left-hand side of your screen, okay, these are images of the Kumaraswamy wedding. And on the right-hand side of your screen, you can see a chariot ceremony that was conducted at the Siddhalingeshwara temple in Kalaburgi district in Karnataka. The right-hand side violation has seen very quick police action. 20 people have been booked, an FIR has been lodged, people have been named, and the police is taking action in that case. My question now is, if the police can show alacrity for these lockdown violators, these shameful lockdown violators in Kalaburgi, in Karnataka, why can't people be arrested from the Kumaraswamy wedding? Who are they to violate lockdown rules? Who are they to get special permissions from the government in this regard? That is the big question that I want to ask here on 5 Live. And Nagarjun raised a very important point. Isn't it going to be eyewash, ladies and gentlemen, if the government says they are seeking a report? Because believe me, and now you're going to watch in the report I have for you, how the Yediyurappa government itself is completely tainted when it comes to sticking to lockdown rules. Chief Minister himself has mocked his own directions as far as safety are concerned. Multiple MLAs, multiple leaders, even a minister have mocked the suffering of people by breaking lockdown rules. Take a look at this report. We feel your rage watching these images of ex-Karnataka Chief Minister Kumaraswamy's son getting married today in Bengaluru. But should you really be surprised? Kumaraswamy, former Chief Minister of the state, may now be an opposition leader. But is this a case of VIPs protecting and facilitating each other and issuing special permissions? There are already at least 4 examples of the ruling party either brazenly violating lockdown orders, or mocking its own appeals for social distancing, or facilitating VIP movements, or being plain insensitive to those suffering in the state. On March the 15th, just after issuing orders restricting large gatherings like weddings, Chief Minister Yediyurappa himself attended a Belagavi wedding where around 2,000 guests were present. He was accompanied by several BJP leaders. This month, BJP MLA M. Jairam cut a cake to celebrate his birthday with a large crowd of locals in Tumkur. Amazingly, the FIR registered in the case doesn't even name him. And in the latest example of VIP privilege, Andhra MLA Burra Madhusudan Yadav was allowed to travel in a large convoy with 40 family members from Bengaluru to Andhra's Prakasam district. While the family members were turned back, why was such a large convoy allowed to travel 125 kilometers unchecked from Bengaluru to the border? Put these pieces together and you begin to understand why permissions have been so easily granted to the Kumaraswamy family. In Karnataka, unless the state cracks down without exception, VIP privilege under the corona lockdown is a clear case of the powerful facilitating their own. Bureau Report, India Today.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.